What's up, y'all? HTG Brian back live with another game break. It's the end of the month, so here we are talking about past, present, and future things HTG. So glad you guys could join me today. I'm hoping over the next few minutes we'll see some more people come in. Because this is a game break, I'm not going to go ahead and address the chat like I normally would, just to keep things moving along, as we like to say. But on that note, what up, guys? Welcome. It's early in the day, a little bit of a different time than we're used to, but that's okay. Reason for that is, if you haven't already heard, my wife is actually teaching a professional development class, and she does it from right here on my setup. We both scheduled it. I knew it was coming like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I knew this was happening, but we didn't really put it together that today was also game break day. So we shifted game break to the morning. We shifted the Wednesday game that would have normally taken place right now to yesterday. So everything kind of got bumped down or ahead, I guess. And that being said, we'll be back on a normal schedule, which we will talk a little bit about later. I see Rob showed up. What up, Denise? Appreciate you guys coming in. All right, so welcome, everybody. Another month has gone by, and the older I get, the faster these months seem to just scream on by. Oh, yeah, take note of my new HTG embroidered polo shirt. We'll talk more about that later, too. Matt's out there. Farmer's out there. What's up, guys? Pretty busy, but boring month. We had some good stats. Real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at last month. So you can see we crossed over into the 215,000 subscriber mark. That's pretty amazing. So getting closer and closer to that 250,000. That'll be like the next milestone that I really recognize and am stoked for. Now, as I've talked in the past, subs are not nearly as important as active engagement. So whether you're a subscriber or not, viewing the videos, watching, spending time watching, liking, things like that, there's a lot of interactions that you guys can do that are actually more beneficial to the channel than just clicking the sub button. However, the sub button leads to you guys getting notified and being a part of that interaction. So we always appreciate the new subs. And of course, we always kind of wonder, like, on the math, like, how are we gaining so many but not seemingly gaining any, if that makes sense? So we're gaining more people, but we're not necessarily seeing people in the lives, not seeing a lot of new commenters. Anyways, we'll leave that for the YouTube gods, which have been pretty decent to me lately. However, this morning I had a little bit of a fumble. I hit the button and it literally took at least 2 minutes. It just spun and spun and spun. And normally I can go to like my other browser and click it and then it'll open, but it didn't. I don't know what was going on. Even Kirsten was on me like, "Are you going to stream today? What's happening?" She didn't say that, but I know she was about to. I could see her actively getting ready. But all that being said, we are here. We had, let's see here, 704,000 views last month and almost basically 38,000 watch time hours. There is a K after that representing the 1,000, just in case you were wondering. That being said, let's go ahead and check out this month. We flipped basically about 1,000 subs, just a little short, as you can see, 961. So actually 897. I lied. Does that math add up? Somebody do the math on that. Anyways, we're 216,000 plus. We had 680,000, so quite a dip in views over last month, and 35,500 watch time hours. So a little bit of a lull. I say boring month, not only for me and what I did, but also there wasn't a lot happening. The games that I was playing weren't getting a lot of retention. They would show up on like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, stream, 3, 4, not as much. Even with Lego Lord of the Rings, we've seen a huge fall off. We were doing 1,000 plus easy with tons of watch time. And now we're seeing like 600 to 700 views and like about half the watch time. So it's starting to die out. We're getting into that free roam. We're going to be talking about, how that's going to affect things in the next couple of weeks too. And yeah, at the end, I'm just going to kind of riff it a little bit. It's not really a topic, but I wanted to talk summer because summer's coming as well. So Adam D's out there. Kevin G's out there. What's up, guys? All right. So all in all, good month, big time. Thanks and shout out to you guys for continuing to support the channel, whether it's big or small, whether it's better than last month or worser than last month. I do appreciate all the time and effort you guys put in. Some of you more than others. Also, I want to give a shout out to Ben, who dropped a 20 membership donation this morning. And I bring that up verbally because when donations are gifted during the pre-stream page. It does not show up on our most recently gifted. As you can see, it shows raised. It should show Ben with a 20 piece. He dropped a 20 bomb. So big shout out. Hopefully some of those peeps are getting notifications and maybe even going to show up and check us out. All right. So good month. I mean, happy with it. It provided, and we had fun. I've been playing some fun games. I'm going to continue to do so. I wanted to talk a little bit about Drex too. Gonna look at some of this stuff's not gonna mean anything to you guys, but want to just go ahead and remind you guys. Back in December, Drex blew out his knee. It was mid to late December, with Christmas and New Year's. It was really tough getting into a doctor for even just a consult. It took us a while to get into our normal vet. The normal vet said, yeah, it's not a sprain or anything. He's blown it. We're going to have surgery. So it took a while to get a consult to the physician, the surgeon, the vet that was going to do the process. And then once we got that, it was like, I think 2 weeks later or a week later, something like that. So even longer delay. So it was like, man, I want to say, anyways, way longer. We feel really bad that he had to wait as long as he did. And that being said, you can see him here. He's kind of running around in the backyard. I've used this clip for the last couple of months just to kind of show you guys what I'm up against or what he was up against. And, and then we took him in and he ended up having the surgery. The left side, you can see the plate. It kind of looks like a fork with no sporks. And on the right, you can see there's multiple screws that go into his lower leg bone. And so it took quite a while for that to heal. In fact, it took about 10 weeks for that to get to where it is now. Speaking of where it is now, you can see here, I'm not a technician, so I can't really explain or describe a lot. But if you look here, there's like discolored bone. There's like darker spots. Here, it's all the same color. So that was how it was really shown to us, and that is a sign that the bone is healed. It's no longer not infected, but inflamed is the word I'm looking for. So that was good. So this was like April 2nd, I want to say. We went in, and so it's been a couple of weeks since we had this, and more progress has been made. Drex is a happy boy, as you can see here. He is so glad to have his other leg back, and that face, I swear. But I took kind of an updated video, and I just wanted to show you guys that, he is doing well. You can see him. He's running on both back legs. Here in a second, he does his little, what's going on? Who's in there? He just, I call it Drex on patrol. He just kind of runs around, and you can see he's jumping, running, moving. He's moving good. So happy boy. We're very happy for him. The surgery was definitely, hey, what's up, Tina? Gerg's out there. Gergas interrupt us. The surgery was a very expensive surgery, but because my mom had a dog many years ago that had a knee issue, and it cost them thousands of dollars to get it fixed. My mom had gotten a dog about the same time we got Drex, a new dog. And so we've got Roxy is her name. Roxy's like 2 months younger than Drex. So like their timelines are perfect for each other and everything. It's an Aussie Doodle. She's got so much energy. Anyways, she got pet insurance for Roxy and immediately was like, hey, you guys should get pet insurance for Drex. It's like $35 to $45 a month, and if some big surgery happens, it'll cover most, and blah blah blah. So we kind of took my mom's advice, and Jillian jumped on the bandwagon and got the same exact coverage, same exact plan that Roxy had, and we had it for Drex. Well, ironically, like right before Drex's issue, my mom had decided, I guess their rates had gone up quite a bit, and ours didn't go up the same amount for some reason. We still don't know why. But her rates went way up. So my mom was like, forget this. We're canceling this. We haven't used any of it. She seems to be bulletproof. And, my mom's in a situation where if something big were to happen, she can absorb the hit without even blinking an eye. So she wasn't really worried about it. She felt like it was kind of wasted money. So she canceled it and was not telling us to cancel, but like at the same time was like, not encouraging us keeping it. And we're so glad we did, because the surgery ended up being like, I want to say it was like $7,000 or $6,800, and insurance covered like $5,200 of it or something. So we had to pay out like $1,000 for like a huge surgery and a bunch of consults, an overnight stay, all the drugs that that lasted all through the whole rehab. And so money well spent, because Drex he's not 100%. Let's see, today's Wednesday, so today would be, I believe it's week 12 that we got him back. Today would have been week 12 since surgery yesterday, I do believe. I might be off a week. We kind of quit counting once we got past like the has to be on a leash and those kind of things. Like he couldn't be on the recliner or the couches or anything above. He hated it. He had this little blanket bed and he'd pick it up and wrap it around, and he hated it so much. So he's glad to have everything back. So Drex is doing well, and I appreciate all the support that you guys have shown and all of that along the way. Looks like I missed Troy too. Is Troy out there? Let's see here. Oh, Roberto as well. What up? Glad to see you. Sorry, a little bit slow. I was telling a big story, and yes, I do see Troy. Yesterday I couldn't find him because he's got like a big long G name deleted. Oh, Bobby, what is up, bro? I see the Bobberts in the house. Ooh, my foot is cramping. My toe is cramping. Oh, I gotta stand up. Oh man, one of my toes is like, woo wee, woo wee. So I often like tuck my feet straight up in my Crocs like this under the chair, and every once in a while this foot kind of goes and like the smaller toes curl up and they lock on pretty hardcore. So I got to be careful about how I flex those. That's right, I'm flexing. All right, next up, we got Brian's boring car updates. Just got a couple of things I wanted to show you. It won't be long before I stop adding stuff. I'm running out of money to spend on this thing, and wife's running out of patience. Although, I'm really having a hard time right now because this is new stuff. I'm about to show you some old stuff. Well, this month stuff. There's a wheel company that I spoke to the owner of the other day, and they could potentially make me a custom wheel that nobody in the world would have. It's not cheap. And my wife's like, you have 2 sets of wheels. Why would you need a third? And the goal is to sell at least 1, if not 2 of those. I'll probably have to sell my Lego collection in order to buy these wheels, but they're blue. I want blue wheels, and blue wheels don't really exist for the platform and pattern that I have. So I'm working on that. And the reason for it is because I have a lot of blue accents on my car. I have red and white, black and blue. Those are the colors that my car is. So anyways, you guys have probably seen it before, but let's go ahead and look at it again. This was first time that dad and son got to go roll around and have some fun. This day actually ended up being a terrible day for both of us. So this was a Saturday, the first Saturday of the month, actually. And Reese works at the golf course up in Hillsboro. And that's about an hour away, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic and what route you take. And so we knew Reese didn't have to work until 1. So we were like, hey, let's go up at like 10:30, 11. Let's go to this cool place that Mom and I always go, and we'll have some tacos. You could check out the place we always go to. And then you can take off and go over to the golf course and work, and Mom and I can go home. And so that's what we did. We hopped in the cars. We drove up there. It was, like I said, real fun. And so, that's mine in the front and Reese's in behind. So that's my old GTI that Reese bought from me. And my new Golf R that I've been absolutely in love with since January on my birthday when I bought it. And so anyways, the story would go on, and we got to the place. We had tacos. When pulling in, Reese hit the curb pretty bad. I've got some photos that I'll show you later, but it was pretty bad. He destroyed his wheel basically, and destroyed the prettiness of the wheel. We'll say the wheel was very functional, but it was an embarrassment, is what it was. So, anyways, like I said, it ended up being a terrible day because I also somehow lost my sunglasses. We still don't know how it happened. We sat at a weird, like, sort of like up high, like bar table kind of a thing where you're like sitting on these like weird, uncomfortable stools. and we ended up making it over to the regular tables. And I think I somehow left my glasses on the little crappy mini table. That's the only thing I can think of. And they were prescription, so whoever got them probably just threw them in the garbage after they put them on. But I see Scrap Metal says want a pomelo yellow. That stuff's pretty dope. This dude named Autry, who he's like the primary owner of BMP Tuning. He's a big part of the Mark 8 community on Facebook. They have a pomelo yellow that's got like a matching yellow basket on top, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's been in a lot of ads all over the place. But yeah, the 380 is nice. I went with the next step up, the Golf R, just because I wanted that all-wheel drive. That GTI in the back there has 380 horsepower and 400 torque with the KO4 APR setup on it. And I couldn't get any traction at the track. I was like an embarrassment. So I ended up getting the all-wheel drive. All right, moving along. Little rear end shot here. Pretty similar. You can see the differences. So that's 8th generation on the left and 6th generation on the right. And then, of course, I'm officially on the gram now. Not a lot of content yet, but if anybody does want to see my fancy pictures that don't make it to the old game breaks, follow me on the Instagram, inadub503. All right, next up, I think I told you guys I met this really cool local owner. His name is Zane. He runs a company called 503 Films. Pretty cool that somebody else is rocking the 503, as most of you know that's where I live in the 503 area code, first of all. But I say this with a lot of confidence. I was legit, if not the first, one of the first ever to use the 503 as a clan tag. And I know people are like, oh, 503 is on everything. No, back in 2002, when SOCOM US Navy SEALs came out, it was one of like 3 games that were available for play online. That is when we started 503. So a lot of 503s have followed, and we've seen also, in fact, after talking to the Zane, the owner of the film company or the film shop, he said that he played Call of Duty and I said, well, when was it? And Reese was like, telling him, no, my dad's got you beat, bro. My dad's got you beat. Well, long story short, Reese and him and we all hit it off. Reese actually showed interest in wanting to work there, and Reese actually works here now. So this really cool environment that my car is in right now is a tint, ceramic, and PPF wrap shop. And he works there. They're actually making vinyl stickers and all sorts of really cool stuff. But anyways, the whole reason I'm showing you this photo isn't to tell you about Reese and his cool job. It's actually because I got my windows tinted. So you can maybe tell a difference that they're pretty dark in that photo. But definitely leaning towards getting some blue wheels. The blue would, I think, just would set that car off. Anyways, speaking of 503 Films, about a week and a half after getting my windows tinted, I was washing the car and I opened my door and I see, wait a minute, that wasn't there the last time I looked. Zane had snuck a sticker onto my car, and I'm totally okay with it. Zane is a sweet dude. Like I said, he gave my son a job. Reese is actually working there Tuesdays and Thursdays, but as of today, he put in his 2 weeks notice at Baskin Robbins, so he'll no longer be scooping ice cream in 2 weeks, and he'll be 5 days a week working at the film shop. So I'm really excited for him, and I'm really excited for the opportunity for me to get some work done on a cheaper level or at home through my son's sweet creative skills that he's learning. I did want to show you a cool thing I did. I spiced up my engine cover too. I took it to my vinyl shop. Unfortunately, the film shop does not do vinyl wrap. They only do paint protection. They do some colored paint protection, but it's a little different than vinyl, especially how it adheres to things. And so I took it to my Noble Works shop here in town. Noble in Igor, the guy who more or less is the front man and runs the place. He has taken good care of me. So definitely added a little spice to it. It's nothing fancy. You know, I had some options. I could have spent like $450 and bought like this kind of ugly carbon fiber one that had red accents, which doesn't match my car scheme really at all. In fact, it kind of conflicts with it because red is a GTI thing, and I'm not hating on GTIs, but when you get a Golf R, you don't really want to be looking or rocking GTI stuff. So I went ahead and asked them to wrap it. We did some testing. The testing went on for 2 weeks. It passed, so we ripped that test off. We went and did the official stuff. I picked out some cool colors, and I also had them cut out a special Golf R sticker so that I could put that on there. the brake ones and other stickers that are available on the market, they don't stick well to plastics, especially heated plastic. And that's literally sitting on top of my engine. So if you can imagine, it's pretty warm. And then last but not least, as far as the Golf R stuff goes, I did a yellow delete. Now, if you look on the bottom, that's actually how the car came. And you actually can't see one of the... So there's a hood prop that actually is holding the hood up in that photo. You cannot see it, but it is a black bar on the left side of the screen. You can kind of see it off to the side. It goes up and out of the picture, but it actually had some very gross yellow accents on it. So I see that comment raised. So what I did was I got a new intake system, which replaced the yellow and black and silver stickers on the front side of the car there in the bottom. They're no longer there. I didn't take them off. The new part did not come with them. It's basically, it allows my intake to breathe better without getting into a ton of details. It needed that new part, but the new part didn't come with the stickers. So once those went off, I was like, well, wait a minute, I got to get rid of this hood prop. So I bought a hydraulic one, which you can see in the top picture in kind of the upper left, just to the left of the blue accent. And almost straight up, well, it's basically straight up in between the blue reservoir and that holds my windshield washer fluid and the blue on the engine cover. There's a little black prop that goes up there. So that removed the yellow there, and I took the yellow spike out that it sticks into, and then I got a couple of other accent-based pieces that blacked out. So I've got a special dipstick now that's black instead of yellow. And then I've also, you can't really see it. I guess you kind of can. In the right side, in the upper right, there was another yellow piece. So I know my friend Greg, who's a big time car guy, has been like, oh, yellow, so gross. Like, come on, bro. Like, why are you so worried about this yellow? But I feel like the yellow delete, like, it looks way cleaner. And I'm thinking about, now that Reese is at a shop that does some pretty sweet vinyl stuff, I'm thinking about maybe recreating the stickers that went on the bottom, down over like down there, way down there, and doing them with blue instead of yellow. Like, just because it has like the information of like what oil to use, what air conditioning fluid, what coolant to use, like all of the fluid based stuff, all the information of the car is there. Now a mechanic's gonna know that unless you take it to some, like, unless I take my German car to like an American shop or something that they're not familiar with the cars. That would be the only reason why I would need those stickers. So not too worried about it, but I'm pretty stoked. This Friday, my cousin has taken my 1985 Jetta Coupe. I've had that car literally 30 years this summer. So I'm probably going to be like 2 months shy of the actual 30-year of ownership mark. But it's just been sitting collecting rust and dust and bee nests. And so he's taking that. So that's a pretty big milestone for me, getting rid of that car. He's just taking it away. And then Thursday next week, Reese and I both go in for some work at the tune shop. So I made this appointment back in like April. I think it was April 3rd or something like that. So I've been waiting a long time. No, actually, it was in March. I know it was in March because when she said May 8th, I went, May 8th, not April 8th? And she goes, no, May 8th. That's by the time the part ships and gets here and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're the first Thursday we have available is May 8th. So I try to do all my work on Thursdays so that I don't have to take days off, because you know how real life can affect a stream. Sometimes I don't even plan to. Like Friday last week, I was hoping to play Apex, and it turned out a better opportunity popped up. My wife needed a pickup from a conference, so she didn't have to sit around for 3 hours for her ride to finish up their stuff, because hers was done way early, and she didn't want to drive. I don't know why she didn't want to drive, but that's neither here nor there. Michael's out there. What up, dude? What up? What up? Let's see here. I had a 2025 B8 and a half A4 that I sold. Nice. For 2000 B5 S4. So, I mean, upgrade in many ways, right? Technology is the only thing that I would see maybe took a hit on that. Because, I mean, that B5 S4, that's a V8, isn't it? Those things are... I love the way they sound. I was disappointed when they went from the previous twin turbo V6, but I knew they had a lot of problems with like the intake couplers falling off. Like there was the twin turbo has rubber couplers, and they would like fail. Basically, they weren't strong enough to withstand the boost sucking, so they would suck in. And V6 twin turbo. So that is the V6 twin turbo. So 2000 is that model then. Okay. Okay. That's dope. Dope too, man. That's dope. Good stuff. Where are you at? What state are you in? We're going to be doing Volkswagen Bug Run and Pack Waterlands here in a couple months. Pack Waterlands isn't until September. Bug Run, I think, is June, so Vermont. So you're a minute away. Do you go out to, are you close enough to go to Wookiees in the Woods? My friend Greg just got back from that trip a couple weeks ago. I'm super jealous. He didn't get to drive a Wookiee, but he rented a Tiguan R, and drove that out there, and then hung out with all. He has an R32 that's like, it's got the supercharger, and basically it's a full custom car. He's done everything. He even just had to do custom brake lines because he upgraded his brakes. Got a big kid. It's wild. I haven't even seen it. It's been off the road for 18 months. Got repainted. Like the chassis got dipped and cleaned. Like it's been de-rusted. Like it's complete restoration. It's wild. And it was supposed to be done last month, and it's probably not going to be done till like maybe September, he said. I'm totally bummed. Nice. Eurobuilt. I don't think I've heard of Eurobuilt, but there's a lot of more Euro-based big events popping up. For so long, it was like, import this and, you know, blah, 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 that. And it's nice to see the Volkswagen and Audi and even some of the BMW community is getting a lot of love. I really appreciate that. All right, moving along. We did so speaking of conventions, somebody mentioned a convention. We got a small Comic Con that comes through Salem. It's called Mid-Valley Comic Con. I mentioned it a couple years back. Reese and I went. We actually met 4 different of the Garbage Pail Kid artists, as well as is it Steven Emberlin? I think it's Steve Emberlin. He is a Spider-Man inker for Marvel. I got a signed Doom print with Spidey on it, and I ended up finding the comic that was there, and then took it over and had him sign the comic too. So I have like the comic book that the page print that I got was out of. And so anyways, we didn't go last year. I'm not sure why. Conflict with schedule or something like that. And so we went this year, and Floyd Man, one of the 4 guys that we had met before, was there as well. And so he's one of the Garbage Pail Kid artists. Turns out bro lives in Salem. So like I'm like this close to being like really good friends with this guy, but this guy's got some wild energy. And I'll show you a couple pictures. All right, here we go. Here's Reese having a jolly good time. So this is the Neon Tendo car. I've showed you guys this before. It's actually a pretty cool car. I didn't take a whole lot of photos. You'll see in a minute. It's not a very big show. It's very minimal. In fact, I was pretty disappointed that I had to pay $20 to get myself in, and $20. So I had to pay $40 for what ended up being about a 90-minute experience. But this guy, the Neon Tendo Kid, he lives in Salem. He's had a couple of different theme builds. We talked to him the last time we were there. We didn't speak to him this time. But it's a Neon, right? It's a Dodge Neon, and it's a Neon Tendo. See the wordplay? Everything is themed in Nintendo. It's got all sorts of accents, graphics. You'll see. I got more photos. It's kind of wild. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. So anyways, you can see he's got like a Mario in the driver's seat, a Luigi in the passenger seat. There are a couple of different spots that you can actually play Nintendo games. He's got like little screens and little controllers like that. Luigi hanging out the back window there is actually covering a controller, and there is a screen right inside the window there. The trunk is also lined up pretty heavy with, you can see the controller on the left side there. There's like 2 screens in the back with 2 different games. Here's the overall con. So again, $20 to get into this thing. I mean, I like supporting local events, and I'd like to see it come back and get bigger. But I mean, it's pretty small. You can see the Neon Tendo on the right there, but he's actually playing games. And then there were some cool people there. There's like a Portland-based Ghostbuster group, and they all had like real proton pack looking things, and they had the Ecto one, and they had a big Stay Puff. I mean, there was some cool stuff there. There really was, but I mean, ultimately, not a huge thing. I ended up getting a new comic, so that swell comic that I'm holding there is actually the first comic book that Floyd Man, who is the Garbage Pail Kid artist, has made. Um, and I thought I got a picture of his booth, but I guess I didn't, or maybe I just didn't include it. I was trying to show some love and wear my GPK shirt. I got a Buddy Christ shirt, which is, if you haven't seen the movie Dogma by Kevin Smith, that's like one of the sort of the running jokes or gag gifts that's a part of the show. And so I wore that, and he was pretty impressed. He was like, "That's dope." So we met Floyd Man and talked to him again, and that was fun. There is the Swell Comics. It's the #1 issue. He's planning on doing another issue here in a couple weeks. I got it signed, as you can see right under the right foot there. It says "Stay Swell, Floyd Man." And I got his card too. So I thought it was really cool that turns out he lived in Salem, Oregon. Here's Reese showing off his Funko finds. He has been on a mission to collect all of the Funkos from the Sonic Funkos, I guess is the way to say it. So, and just a quick photo up front and close, he ended up picking up the Werehog and Silver. So the Werehog is from Sonic Unleashed, which was one of the more abundantly played games in Reese's childhood. That one and Sonic '06 were like the two that he played the most. Like he wanted to play those. We have like we had the GameCube games. Like there's like Shadows Racing and some other stuff too. Like there, I don't even Shadow Rivals. I don't remember what they were. There was some game, but he hardly ever played those. He didn't care. Like we ended up getting all. We got the Game Boy ones, or not the Game Boy, but the what the crap's the little Nintendo 3DS? 3DS, the Game Boy. I'm not old, you're old. um, so that was Mid Valley Comic Con. Pretty fun event. Overall, we saw that. I forgot to get a picture of Caesar the No Drama Llama. I was like telling Reese, like I was building up way too much pressure and hype, like Caesar better be there. And he was like, he'll be there, bro. If you don't know who Caesar the No Drama Llama is, you probably don't. He is a llama that literally is just one of the most beautiful specimens you've ever seen. He's got like Fabio glowing blonde hair that just like, and it's like he's really really tame and very people friendly. And like you can walk up to him and start talking and he'll like look at you and like he doesn't shake his head, but like you feel like he's listening to you, and like people pet him, take photos with him, put their arms around him. Like, a lot of llamas are not very friendly or very fond of people. I know because there's been a couple of llama experiences I've had. We used to have with this place up by my grandparents, ironically, right around the corner from them, there was a thing called Grandkid Acres. And what it was a family had a bunch of farmland, and it started off with like they got a couple of horses for their grandkids, and so they put like this big stable area in, right, these big large fences, and then for whatever reason they decided they wanted to add some other animals, so they like put like this separate little area in, and then they built like a barn, and so then they had like the horses, and by the end of it, you guys, they had 2 giraffes, they had 3 zebras, they had all sorts of like falcons and birds, and like they had like a little aviary, like it was wild. Like, and you could go there. Like my grandparents lived like 3 blocks from it. We could walk there if we wanted to. It was out in the country, so it would have been a little bit of a country walk, but we would always drive there. So when I was a kid, we would go there and we'd feed the giraffe and the zebras, and they had all sorts of other, goats and the primary farm type of animals. But they had some pretty exotic stuff there. And unfortunately, the family got, up into their elderly years, and they tried to pass it on to their children. And the children were like, no, we don't want to run the farm. That's stupid. And the grandkids didn't want it either. So it sort of got dissolved. The zebras actually moved over to another place locally, and they also had a bunch of emus and stuff too. So like they didn't have any kind of a like a tourist attraction there though. It was just like somebody's farm, probably just tax write-off stuff. But um, anyways, all right. So I told you I was going to show you some pictures of Reese's wheel. He came up here the other day when I was prepping for this, and he actually saw me transferring files. He saw it and he was like, "You do not have permission to use that." And I was like, "What? What? I didn't see anything." So I don't have like a before and after. I just have an after and an after and an after. Really, really, two of them are just afters, and one of them is AI generated that his friend did. Anyways, so yeah, you can see he hit the curb pretty good. Um, when I did it on Christmas Day many years ago at my uncle's place, um, definitely did a number on the same wheel, actually. I mean, it might not be the exact same wheel, but it was the same placement. It was the front passenger side. Um, and, you know, he kind of blamed it on Jillian. It was the first time he'd parked downtown Portland. You know, if you've never parked downtown in a big city, I mean, Portland's not even that big, but it falls into the category of very crappy parking spaces. And so Jillian hopped out of my car and was trying to like show him where to park, and he popped in and while she was telling him, "Hey, there's a better spot up here," he looked at her and he smacked the curb. And then I guess he continued to roll. So here's a different photo of it. This was actually legit after it happened. So this was right after sitting at the curb. I was pretty bummed out for him. And I mean, you could just see him. He was so happy. It was like the first weekend he was really getting to roll his car to his job and like show my brother and you know, his uncles and his grandpa and like he was so excited, and he was like literally almost crying. Like and he was like, "Don't tell dad, don't tell dad, don't tell dad." And Jillian was like, "No, no, no." Like I could hear the whole thing happening. And so like I when she said it, there was a car in between us, so I couldn't see right away. But she said it, and I was like, "Oh no, he didn't, did he?" And she was like, "Yeah, he did." And I was like, "You guys are kidding, right? You guys are just messing around." No, they weren't. So, anyways, this photo right here was immediately sent to one of his best friends, Hunter, who I call Gatherer. Um, and this is what he responded with. Like, I don't like AI. I'm not a big fan of the use of AI, but I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So I actually I had something else I was going to share with you guys. So there was a meme that like the next day I was just sitting here, right? And I was scrolling through my feed and this image popped up. And I didn't think about it at the time. I didn't really think about it at the time. So shame on me, okay? But there was four different rows of two pictures. And on the right, there were four different wheels, right? And on the left, there were four different types of dudes. Types of dudes, okay? So like this type of dude often has this type. So I saw it as funny. It might have been a little bit inappropriate. I don't know if I'd call it racist. I don't think it was that far, but inappropriate. But at the time, I thought it was hilarious, and so what I did was I took the picture, this picture, right? I think it's this one. No, this one. So I took this picture right here of Reese's face, and then I put it next to his destroyed wheel. And then I sent it. So the meme has 5 pictures now. And so I thought it was pretty hilarious. He didn't find it as funny as his friend that made the AI, because I used his AI image, right? Like Reese all looking all tough, right? Like, come on. All right, real quick, just want to touch base. Lego Horizons is going to get some more work. I did put up a video. I have not released it yet. The reason is because I knew I wasn't going to have time to get to the next video, and I don't want there to be a huge fall off between the released video and the next one. So my goal is, as I mentioned earlier, my cousin is coming Friday night to pick up a car that I've had for 30 years. Over that 30 years, I have gained a lot of junk and parts for it. My goal between as soon as I'm done today with this game break and Friday when he shows up is to have a couple of big bins full of the parts and all the stuff. I have like a dashboard that's wrapped up, that's been sitting up on a third, like kind of a high shelf that's got tons of stuff on this side of it so I'm gonna have to take all this junk out, try to weasel that out. It's been up there for 10 years, probably 8 to 10 years. Then below it on the next shelf down, same scenario, except for there's a back seat. So, back seats usually have like a bottom you sit on and the back that you sit. So in this particular car, there are two different pieces because it's a 1985. It's a long time ago. And I've got one of these pieces wrapped up on a shelf with a bunch of stuff, and I can't pull it out the end on either side because of the fact that I have a big cooler there, like a freezer, like a top pop opening freezer that's like 6 feet long. Not going to be able to move that. It actually needs to be defrosted, and there's a ton of stuff in it. So I'm gonna have to pull all that stuff out and then get those things out. But my goal is to get all that and get it to him Friday. So I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have. Thursdays is usually my project day. I've just not had any. And next Thursday, I'm going to Portland for my thing. However, I do not have a Tuesday game planned yet. I was trying to make Ark the game, but Raised and Kirsten talked me out of it. So blame them when there's no stream on Tuesday. Just saying. But I've basically done a wrap-up video. It's not the equivalent of preparing for free play, but it's like a what's next? I beat the story. What do I do next? Because out of the questions that I've gotten, and I don't get a lot, but out of the questions I've received in regards to that is, what's the best? What's the most efficient way? What do I need to buy? So you can really buy and do whatever you want. I mean, there's not a lot of direction that's needed to be had, especially in any order. It just depends on how much time you want to spend. If you're just trying to get it done and over with, there's still a lot of grind left. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to incorporate those videos because there's no reason. When I did the tally, there's 4 characters. By the time you get done with the story, if you've only played with Aloy and then you do the Apex hunts with Aloy, you still needed to replay some of the early levels, I think like 7 or 10 times. And then you got to her to level 20. And then there's 3 other characters that have different levels. One's like 6, one's like 8, and one's like 12. And you have to work your way up. So you don't start from 0 with those characters like you did with Aloy, but you start from a long ways away. And I think it took like 21 replays of a level with one character and like 17 with another. Each one of those only takes about 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. So, it goes pretty fast as far as each level going. But, I mean, that's like 10 hours worth of grind. I mean, not quite, but it's probably like 5. It's probably like 4 to 5 hours worth of grind. I broke it up into multiple days, so I didn't feel that bad. But and I say that because I actually played through on my son's account and platinumed it. So I've technically not platinumed my save file, but I have platinumed the game under Reese's account. So I do know what it takes to get to the end. And I did that because Doug is busy having a baby. I think I mentioned that too. Our guide writer for Horizon, Funko Fusion. And he started working on Lego Indy 2. He has been busy. He's got a new baby, and she is doing well. Mama's doing well too, and so he's busy doing that. So that's where he's been, for anybody's been wondering. But as far as Funko goes, I'm still waiting for an update. I've got these logos just sort of here retroactively because I know that each month I'm going to talk about them. At some point, I hope to finish those. I also hope to get to Lego Indy 2 soon. So, I was talking earlier about summer and things like that. There's definitely going to be some time moving forward that I'll probably start digging into that. I do want to really quick talk about HTG merch. I have, in fact, added a new shirt. I'm wearing it right now. It's this guy right here. Um, I'm still not, I'm still kind of on the fence, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't think I can get any bigger than that. So I took our logo that you see all over the place, that's almost as bright as the yellow on the web page, and it actually came out kind of more of like a mustardy. I don't know how. In certain lights, it looks like the perfect yellow. Like when there's a lot of light, it looks really good. When I'm in like kind of this darker room here, um, I feel like it's a little more gold. So, you can see here. I'll try to get closer to the camera. I mean, it's good. Like the embroidery is pretty solid. Like there's a lot of detail. There's shading and stuff on the logo, so I wasn't sure how it was going to come out. And big shout out to Adam B, who's already purchased one as well. And if he hasn't got it, I think he's going to get it today. I just got mine yesterday, and I saved it for today to wear it. It's like a golf shirt, so it's got like a collar on it. I mean, if you want to go like full 80s, you could totally wear it. It's probably not very visible because it's not super light in my room, but just in case. Make it glow in the dark. That actually might be a cool limited edition one. I'll look into that, Bobby. That's actually a really good idea. I don't know if they have iridescent threads. It seems like they probably do. It's probably just not healthy for people to have it. Yeah, it's just radioactive. It's just radiation, bro. It glows in the dark though, so got that going for me. you know. Yeah, so I thought about writing them a message, but I'm still waiting to see what's going on. Hey, what up, Energy? I see you out there sneaking in. But yeah, so I see a suggestion for Shadow of Mordor. We did play. What was the first one? Is that the second one or the first one? Because we actually have guide videos for the first one. And I really liked it. I really liked that game. The second one came out. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just the place I was in at the time, because that can happen to me. Like for example, big fan of an artist called Prof. Prof actually put out a new song like 3 weeks ago. The day after it came out, Gray sent me a link, said, "Hey, look, Prof sent out, because he likes Prof too." And I was like, I didn't really like it. And the irony of it too is like the chorus is like something, something, something. I don't like it. Something, something, something. I don't like it. Right? Like that's, I don't remember what the words are, but it's like, it's got like a weird carnival-y kind of dark vibe, almost like a scary movie or something. And it's got some crazy bass line. But anyways, it didn't hit me. I didn't like it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in it. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm not even kidding. Like 20 minutes later, not connected in any way. They had not spoke to each other or anything. BHU sends me a message and goes, "Hey, give this song a listen." And it's the same Prof song. And I was like, "Nah, I'm good, bro." And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, he's like, "It's got Prof in it though. You love Prof." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling it though." And he's like, "Give it another listen." I was like, and it was boo. So I was like, all right, maybe in a couple days I'll give it another listen. I gave it another listen, and I didn't have that same negative feel. Like I wasn't like, ugh, like I was the first time. The first time I was like, ugh. And I'd even heard the preview beat and him Prof hyping it up like 2 weeks before the song came out. Like, he's talking about this is the craziest, most, almost annoying like beat ever. And who's gonna rap over this? And it was this whole thing, and I didn't hate that. But like when I heard the song, I didn't like it, which was funny because of the chorus. I don't like it. So it might just be something that I need to get used to or whatever. You never know. But same with Minecraft. Like I keep thinking I should give it another chance, but I don't like it. The Shadow of Mordor. I'm trying to remember which one. War is the second one. Okay. The first one we actually did. Fun fact for you guys. I've told this story like once before, I think. I see Bobby mentions PAX West. Back in 2014, me and a team went up there for Happy Thumbs. And I actually got to interview, and I have the video footage. I don't think the footage has ever made it anywhere. It may have. I don't. Let me see did I put that up? I can't remember. So Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, we have a handful of videos on. Looks like only like 8. Okay, so I do have the interview with lead designer Bob Roberts. So I actually interviewed Bob. I don't. I'm like hesitant on whether I should say anything. Um, Bob and I were real close, right? I don't know if you can actually see it in the video, but at one point, some of the breath made it. You know, like cartoons, like a pie gets put on a window, and the scent trail goes, and it's like, come here, come get the pie, right? It was similar, except for the finger slapped me in all my senses. Like, I know everybody's been in this situation before. Bro might have had like garlic for dinner and coffee for breakfast or some. I don't know what. it was. It was hard to get through the interview without losing focus. So like, I'm totally. Yeah. Like it was. It's not a good interview. But um, what's a Kimbot? Um, hey, I appreciate that, Adam T. Appreciate that. I mean, they're actually pretty reasonably priced too. I mean, $28 for an embroidered polo. I'm not encouraging everybody to go buy them right now, but you should go buy one right now. I am finding it weird that right now they're out of the double XL, which I fit in the XL, but it's a little tight, especially around a couple of like the belly areas and stuff. I'm kind of I like a little bit of loose fit, right? It's not as flattering. I look like a big giant box walking everywhere I go. My wife hates it. She's always trying to get me to get form-fitting clothes, but I'm like, but then you'll see how round I really am. But right now, the small, medium, large, extra large, 3XL, and 4XL, but no double X at the moment. But there will likely be an adjustment. I also want to point out too that the Buff Turtle T-shirt has finally made it. I'm not sure when I created the Buff Turtle hoodie, which has sold a handful of hoodies. And if you don't know the story on it, Reese made it back when he was like in 7th grade or something like that. But yeah, called the Buff Turtle, and it's like this really abstract drawing of like a turtle with like at legs, you know, like AT-ATs. It's basically like a turtle AT-AT with a Doctor Who TARDIS on its back. I listen, the creativity goes where it wants to go. He was like in 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that. And I gotta admit that like the tan or what is it, peach color, whatever it is, it goes pretty hard with the shirt. I also like the turquoisey teal, like a light greeny kind of color. But yeah, Buff Turtle and Happy Thumbs Polo, both available as of yesterday. I did pull the plug on my car art shirt. I got them. I can actually show you them. So I got them, and I don't like the quality of them. So if you haven't seen before, I basically illustrated a picture of my car, right? And on camera, it actually looks pretty good. On camera, it looks pretty good. It's really like a big. It's like a sheet of paper has been printed on there, and it feels like one of those like at home transfer type of things. It doesn't feel like it's professionally done. So I pulled it. I'm probably going to make some design changes. I'm not, so far, my luck with designs has been pretty sweet. All the stuff I've made is turned into a shirt pretty nicely. So I don't know if I chose like the wrong type of printing option, or I just, maybe it's the type of shirt that I chose needed to have that weird. Maybe they just got cheaper on me. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But ultimately, I pulled it from the store. I've got a couple of the samples, so to speak. They might be the only ones to ever get made. I may make some alterations and make some different ones. We'll see. I'll let you know. I don't think anybody's missing out on them, though. Schedule, though. Let's talk about that. Moving forward, we got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday schedule happening for the next couple of weeks. As you guys know, we started Arcade Paradise, which is, hey, it's basically a laundromat simulator, but you don't like the process of running a laundromat, so you are working hard at the laundromat so that you can uh, to make your arcade bigger. You want to have more arcade cabinets, larger spaces, and that's where all the money is in the game. So we're slowly working our way through that. It'll stick around for a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping that Power Wash Sim will drop its second Muckingham Files DLC. Once we get both of those available, I'll be jumping back to that. We also have Bee Simulator that's kind of hovering around. See what I did there? And when I have completed Arcade Paradise and or Power Wash Sim, I will be jumping into that. So probably some other things coming down the pipeline too. I saw a game this morning. It kind of falls into gray area for me. I think it's called The Precinct. I can probably check that out. I think it's called The Precinct. And yeah, it's an upcoming action adventure game developed by Fallen Tree Games and published by Quali. It takes inspiration from the early Grand Theft Auto games with a top-down perspective. So I saw some footage of it this morning. It looks actually kind of fun. And the reason why I say it kind of falls into the gray area for me is that I don't often have a lot of police-based stuff just because, it can lead to some crazy stuff. But difference of opinions, we'll say. It's funny, I see, is there an actual release date for this yet? Rating pending, no ratings yet. Release date December 31st, which I'm sure is a placeholder. I searched for The Precinct, and one of the results that returned was Recreation, which is a game I've been excited to see more on for the PlayStation. It looks like it's going to be sort of a Burnout Paradise City kind of a game. There's been very little release that I've seen, but Walmart has it. You can pre-order it for $40. So the fact that it's $40 makes me feel like it's not going to live up to the hype I was hoping it would. But anyways, yes, and Power Wash. Bro, Power Wash is awesome. I don't know why you hate on it. Like, when you've got nothing else to play or when you're just chilling and you want to kill an hour or whatever, it's the most satisfying, fun thing to do. Like, I actually really enjoy power washing in general. Like, I can put on headphones. I have some over-the-ear headphones, and I can just put those bad boys on and just go to town. I'll do the house. I'll do the driveway. I'll do your car. I'll do whatever. I'll do your RV if you're coming through town. I know that one year we talked about Reese was hoping that maybe I could get up on top of their RV and hose the roof off. I need help playing Wolf Automatic Starter. What is that, Troy? And I don't know what a Keembot is. It's an action-adventure platforming shooting game set in a sci-fi world where only robots exist. Interesting. Is it on PlayStation? Why does bro sort of look like an untexturized Ratchet? He looks like Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, doesn't he? Just that cover art immediately. That's the first thing I think of. And I see another screenshot of it, and it looks like he's got like a little companion that floats behind him, kind of reminiscent of Clank. See here. Funny, is a Kimbot like Ratchet and Clank? Gameplay is similar to Ratchet and Clank, but not exact. Interesting. I liked the Ratchet and Clank. I didn't love them. I found some of the tasks to be way too hard. Same with that. What was that other game a long time? Rayman. There were some of those things that were just like rage inducers. So I never totally got into that. But Scrap Metal says, I've been wanting to start Lego Lord of the Rings, but want to watch the movies with it been years and jump into. Yeah. Absolutely. Nice. Yeah, we did that too right before we started replaying. I sort of watched I watched one half of the first movie and then we streamed once and then we watched the second half and I streamed the second time. So I was like watching the first half and then playing the first half and then watching the second half, playing the second half. It was actually really fun. And they did a great job lining those things up. It also helped me with character names and places. Because I am pretty bad at that. Tolkien had a very unique way of saying a lot of the names. Like he'd write it one way and then say it a completely different way, or he'd write it one way and you were unsure how it was supposed to be said. Tolkien was very creative in that sense. So, yes, Ratchet and Clank. Power Wash is a great game, Bobby. That's right, Bobby. You take that. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, so that's basically it. I do want to give a big time shout out to our Patreon supporters. Well, I guess let's finish up the stuff. We got Arcade Paradise Monday. We got Days Gone on Wednesdays. Okay, Fortnite and/or Apex on Fridays. It's been a fortnight since we played Fortnite. The last few seasons have been very off-putting to me. I just really probably should get in and play some. Same with Apex. I have not played Apex in like 3 weeks. I'm hopeful that this Friday will be an Apex day. A lot of it has to do with, whether a team is available and whether I am available. But ultimately, I seem to be both this Friday. So unless my cousin's like, bro, can I come over at like noon? Then that might conflict with Friday. But once the car's gone, there'll be no more conflict. So we got to think of this crazy background. I feel like the color scheme worked out really nice, like with like the recent donations, the frame, the logo. I feel like, ironically, it sort of reminds me of like the ambience of the game Sonic Unleashed, with like a glass and like a dripping effect in between. Like it just has kind of that same flow. Like a lot of stuff was dark but like lit up with like brown I don't know, for some reason it just felt like Sonic Unleashed to me, which I thought was funny because he actually got the werewolf from the Pop Funko series. So Funko Pop, whatever you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, back to Patreon. Here's our $5 and up supporters. Big time shout out to all of them. Most of those guys and those names haven't changed in a long time. The tradition continues. And I appreciate all of you for the support. Much love, much love. I think one of those maybe have revoked, but it's just easier to let it ride and give them credit for it. So I also have some $10 and up supporters, but I'm just now realizing I don't have the list up. I think I know it off the top of my head because it's pretty sure the same ones. Give me a hot second here. Almost. All right, just as usual, we got the man, the new dad. You know him as Dougie Fresh 613. Thanks for the support, Dougie. Much love, and congrats on being a dad. You have already been helping raise another, but you got to start all over again, bro. Start all over again. So good luck to you, man. You know I'm here for you. I still need to figure out what the crap you want. We talked about that, but we haven't got that solidified yet. So got to get him a gift, right? That's what you do. Appreciate the support, though, Dougie. Next up, we got Michael Garsberg. Big time shout out to Michael. Been a supporter for a long time. Greatly appreciated. Always like seeing your outings, too. As you guys know, I don't go out a lot. Michael goes out a lot. He goes to a lot of concert stuff. Not always the type of music I like, but it's always cool to see the different venues and the different events and things. So, it's cool to see what you guys do because a lot of you watch me, but it's nice to kind of get some of that reciprocated. So, speaking of which, next up, we got April White. April, I bet you're watching right now. I need to know, did you platinum Firefighter Sim yet? Did I beat you to it? You've got your account locked on your profile locked, so I can't see. I tried to stalk you the other day, and I found out that you've got your games hidden. So let me know. Let me know if that is something that you need help with. No, I can tell you what I did if you're still trying to grind those miles. I've got a pretty good way to start counting. Like Gerg didn't want to start counting because he had already done so much and he had no idea where he was. But I always suggest counting because then you at least know the bare minimum. Like you at least know, okay, I've at least done this much. I have no idea how much I really have, but I've at least done this much. We got it. I know that Gerg got it. I got it. Kirsten, I think she put it on hold for now, or at least deleted it and tried to forget about it. One of the two. And BHU, last I talked to him was like, I don't know, Friday or Saturday. he was still working on it. Still needed some miles. Again, unknown on how many miles. He's played a ton though. He's got like 40 something hours, and have not touched that game. Well, let's run some. Let's run some, Kirsten. I'm down to show you my method. I showed Gerg. I actually drove Gerg around for like 2 hours, and then I was like, that's it, dude. You're going to have to tell everybody I carried you to platinum because you're literally doing nothing. I'm carrying you. I'm driving you around like you should be driving right now. And then he ended up doing it on his own, so I let him slide. He doesn't have to tell people I carried him. But the truth is, I drove probably 60 to 70% of the miles for him because I drove all the streams, and then I drove a couple hours off stream. So, yeah, that's right, Gerg. Take that. Last but not least, with the $10 and up, we got Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much for your support, Bonnie. Much love. I'd love to hear from you. We used to send emails back and forth. I haven't heard from you in a minute. I should probably reach out to you. Oh, look at that. Bobby flexing. Is that a flex? Or is that become... He turned it on. He turned it on. It's not a flex. This is not a drill, you guys. This is not a drill. Bobby is officially on the board with a new membership. Pew, 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 pew. That is awesome. Thank you, Bobby. I'm still going to say suck it, Bobbert, when I win at Apex, though. So there is that. All right. So, hey, that's actually all of my list, guys. I don't have to shut it down yet. I've got more time. So that being said, what's up? What's everybody got going on? Any big plans for May? I'm going to be actually going to the drag strip for the first time. And, first time with my new car. I will be getting some work done next Thursday. As I mentioned, if anybody's interested, I'm getting an intercooler replaced. I'm putting the APR intercooler in. And I'm also having them do the APR Plus Stage 1 tune. So the low torque file, because my TCU, my transmission brain is not programmable at this point. Not without swapping a bootloader, but that's probably above most of your pay grades. Costs about $1,800 plus the tune that I would want, so it'd be another $600. So about $2,400 to get my tune on my transmission. It supposedly makes the car way better, but right now I have warranty, so my APR Plus will actually continue that warranty. So I'm having to pay money. So I'm an idiot. So I had a warranty from Volkswagen. And then I paid for an extended warranty that lasts 9 years. And then I also have, I'm going to get the APR tune, but I'm buying their APR Plus program, which is an extra chunk of money too. So like I've paid like a lot of money for warranty that's going to be arguably vanished here soon. Some of it won't be. They do this thing called the TD1. Where if your car has a tune on it, like as soon as the dealership plugs into it, it pops up and it like flags it like, hey, this car has been modified. And so the dealer will often try to like void warranties and things like that. But the dealer actually has to prove that the tune caused the product or part to fail. So there's some kickback. But the APR Plus warranty is basically doubling down on that. So if Volkswagen goes, your car's tuned, it's got APR tune on it, we're not covering that. And I go, well, you have to prove that it broke it. And they go, yeah, well, here's our proof. And then Volkswagen denies my claim, then APR will cover it. So that's kind of cool. Jillian's not super thrilled that I'm crossing this line already, but she also does not want to hear me talk and bitch about it. So, so she's like, just do it. She ordered a bunch of Vigo garden stuff. So next month, I will likely have a bunch of updates on our sunflowers because I had a picture of the sunflowers, but it was literally just a mound of dirt with like 3 little sprouts. I noticed this morning that there are more, and I thought about taking an extra picture and trying to load it in, but I just thought I'll wait. Next month, it'll actually be something to look at, and I'll show you the picture I took with no sprouts and then lead on to some actually worthwhile growth. But yeah, the Vigo garden stuff is actually still being delivered. I think we got our last boxes this morning. Reese started laughing. He goes, you gotta tell Mom to stop buying planters and stuff because another load just got. This is like the 3rd or 4th FedEx truck delivery that we've got with stuff. But we got multiple raised bed. I guess they're more or less like fencing or like liners. I don't know what to even call them. They're metal and they're supposed to last like 15, 20 years. she's got like this cool idea. She went and showed me in the yard last night. She's like, here's this and that, and there's gonna be a trellis that goes over the top, and like strawberries, and hopefully some other things will grow on here. And like, so I guess not. No, it wasn't strawberries. It was string beans, squash. I don't know, things that grow on the vines, the divines. Package deliver arriving today. Does it say what time? Okay, 1:15. We got a laptop out for delivery. My wife ordered one the other day, and I'm assuming there's going to be a sign required for that. So I had my ear out there. Drex will let me know if somebody knocks at the door, though. What is this? Flappy Bird is now back on Android. Was Flappy Bird not around? I'm just looking at emails, making sure I didn't miss anything that I could talk about last minute. Sometimes I get like cool announcements or whatever. There was one that I got. What was it? No, it's not Bakura. Oh yeah, Hypercharge is coming May 30th. So 1 month from today, Hypercharge Unboxed, the toy soldier game that we played on the Xbox, is coming to the PlayStation. It's a fun game, but I'm hopeful that they'll do a sequel and it'll grow. Because everything was like, you load into this room and you have to do these certain tasks, and then you had like a timer and you had to do it all felt weird, like it should have intertwined. There could have been more of a story. There could have been more of like a Toy Story kind of a story where like the toys are trying to fight through and take down the army soldier or whatever, right? Like there was a little bit of that, but like it was really subtle. And I'd like to see him really build on that and create some stories. Hey, King of Wolves, what up? Used to watch your videos and complete Lego game. Nice. 25th of May. Well, happy early birthday. I'm guessing 14. 14. How old? 46. I don't no idea. Oh yeah, did you guys see this? Okay, have you guys ever heard of the movie Now You See Me, Now You Don't? There's actually two of them. Okay, Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, God, what's her name? God, that's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, there's a bunch of people in it. Mark Ruffalo. There's a bunch of people that are in them. Great movies. Lawrence, not Lawrence. Anyways, bunch of people in them. Great movies. They just announced a third one. It's been like 12 years or something since the last one came out. Never thought there would be another one. Great magic movies. They're like really cool illusion-based magic shows that end up being like heists. And it's awesome. It's a really cool show. However, they just announced the new movie, and they had like an official announcement where they said like, sign up for updates, right? They had a certain pool of money that anybody who signed up for future updates got a piece of that money. So they basically waited until they had, a certain date, and they had like 10,000 people sign up for early, and people got $130 through Venmo, like just given to their Venmo. $130. Nobody knew they were getting the money. Nobody knew. I thought that was really awesome. Like, nobody got paid for anything that was falsified or anything, but it makes you wonder if like movie budgets and promotions, like marketers, will use that tactic in the future again. Because it might encourage, now in the back of my head, when I see a sign up for future updates, if it's something I'm even remotely interested in, I might sign up just for the fact that there might be some cash at the end of the trail, right? I mean, there's that whole concept, and probably not, but hey, Bobby, did you see last night after the Milwaukee, Indiana game that Tyrese Halliburton's dad rushed out on the court with a large towel or banner of some sort that had Tyrese's photo on it? And it was good size. And he was holding it up right in front of Giannis, taunting him, telling him, this is how we do. This is how the F we do. Get F'd, blah, 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 all that, right? Giannis is just looking at him like, bro, who are you? He didn't even know it was Tyrese's dad. He had no clue. I saw the interview this morning of him and talking about, how humble he is and how even when he won the championship, he shook hands and hugged people and congratulated them on their efforts versus taunting. And, you got to stay humble. And then he went on to say, in 20 years from now, I'm probably going to be that dad that's out on the court talking trash and doing stuff. And you guys are going to play this video back and say you're conflicting with your views, bro. But I thought it was hilarious. Giannis is a solid dude. Solid dude. I thought it was pretty funny story, but all right. 12. So 13. I said 13, then I said no 14. So I was there. And then I said 46, but that was just to cover the spread to make sure that if you were older, not too often do, grown people go, my birthday's in a month from, unless it's being talked about. But in this case, I guess it kind of was. So, do you go live on COD or play any? I have not in a long time. It's been quite a while since I've played COD. I was tempted to get on and purchase the Jay and Silent Bob pack because I'm big Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes fans. But I didn't. And I feel like I've done myself a service by saving that money because I don't know when I'll play it again. My son has them. My son plays it every once in a while. Since he bought the GTI, though, his game time has been minimal, especially right now he's working 7 days a week. And he has been for a full week and a half now. No burnout signs yet. He's still a very good human. He actually jumped in the middle of something last night, and I kind of snapped at him. I mean, I didn't. I just was very blunt with him. You always got to say something, don't you? You always got to. You have no business saying nothing, and here you are saying something. And I said, we need to do better. And that was it. And then an hour later, I had to call him because I had to go help my cousin hook up a printer and stuff. And when we were over there, I needed him to look at something for me. And so I called him and he was like, hey, I just want to say I'm sorry for earlier. I'll do better. And I was like, so I mean, he and I are way good. And anyways. But yeah, he hasn't been playing very many games. And so I'm hoping that he'll be able to leave the golf course. He put in his 2-week notice today for Baskin Robbins, and the golf course, he loves working there. It's outside. I think he's going to let it ride all summer, you guys, which means he's going to be working 8:30 to 5 o'clock Monday through Friday, and then 2 6-hour shifts at the golf course. He'll close Saturday night 1 to 8. And I guess it's 1, so it's 7-hour shift, 1 to 8. And then he opens up and it's 6 to noon or 6 to 1 or something like that. But he gets to stay with my dad or my brother, one of the two. He kind of alternates back and forth between them. So he gets to spend time with other family, which we don't see as much anymore with grandma and grandpa not being around anymore. The family doesn't meet up in the same capacity as we used to. So anyways. I'll be 56 in a week. Yowza! That's dope. Do we know what day it is, Race? In a week, so a week from today, the 7th? Is it the 7th? Yeah, he is, Adam. It's actually really cool because his jobs are so different. He works 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He works scooping ice cream. So a little bit of customer service, scooping ice cream, doing the ice cream duties, making the waffle cones and things like that. And then Tuesday, Thursdays, he's working at a film place that does window tint, paint protection film, stickers, and they also do ceramic coatings. They also do details and car washing and things like that, but I don't know how often they get those. But he's literally learning how to do that. He came home yesterday and said that his boss was really impressed with how fast he's moving along, and he wasn't expecting him to be ready to a point. And he's realizing too. Both Reese and the boss are realizing if Reese makes a mistake, cutting the wrong size film or scratches the film while he's putting it on the window or whatever, it's minimal product that's being wasted, and that's all that, as long as he doesn't like ruin somebody's car or something, right? And they do have insurance to cover a lot of like the big mistakes, like if a windshield somehow gets cracked or something, like it probably won't come out of Reese's pocket, it'll probably come out of insurance. So it's pretty cool. Like I'm really proud of him. I really am. You know, like I'm stoked that he's getting to get out of the ice cream stuff, because he bent over backwards for those people, and they're not treating him as well as I'd like to see them. I mean, I'm a little biased, but you know, decent job. Never called in sick to work once. Only requested 1 day off. 1 day in a year and a half. 1 day in a year and a half. He also took on, I think we counted the other day, 17 times he was called in for being on call. Never said no. Never said no. 17 times he came in on somebody else's shift to save the company's butt. Then the manager hurts herself, has to have surgery, leaves for a month and a half. They ask Reese if he can handle these earlier shifts and take on a bigger role. Reese tells him, I'm sorry, I can't. I have school. They somehow convince him to quit school to take on this larger role with a no money raise. And when he put in his 2 weeks yesterday, not the boss, but the assistant manager was like, man, I was so close to reporting you like 3 or 4 times and blah, blah, blah. And Rich was like, what do you mean? And like, come to find out, like, she had like all this dirt on him. And then she told him, and then the manager showed up, and she went outside and told the manager all this same stuff. Like, if you got a problem with a person and you're a higher power and you tell them that they need to do better, that's one thing. Ratting them out for them not doing their job when you didn't do your job, that seems... So Reese was like really upset with that too. What an unprofessional way to handle things. So I'm glad he's getting out of there. And Zane, his new boss, I mean, he may end up being a tough person to work for in the end. But right now, he's like one of the cooler dudes I've met in a long time. He and I get along great. And he really seems to like Reese. And Reese is a very likable guy. So I think as long as Reese doesn't putt around and spend a bunch of time on his phone, and he actually does the work, I think he's going to have fun. And it's going to be a really cool summer job. Lots of window tints, lots of paint protection film. A lot of nice cars are going to come through there. He's going to get to see and sit in a lot of things that he wouldn't get to. So I think that's pretty cool. But May 7th. All right. I'll try and remember that so I can sing. 1 week from today. All right. So the next time we play Days Gone, we're going to have to sing an extended version of how let's see here. 57. Okay, hold on. Let me do some quick math right here. 57. Whoops, that's the calendar. It's the wrong thing. Calculator. This will be a little bit of a rough equation here. 365 times 57. So 20,805 days gone will be the name of that stream. Maybe in spirit. Maybe not actually in the title, but no Heinz 57 jokes, please. A newer version of Outlook is what? Okay, nobody has said anything about Outlook. Why? I don't even use Outlook. Why are you bringing that up? My computer just like gonged me. Gong. Outlook. Yeah, I don't use Outlook. I'm not a micro. What is happening? Why is Outlook opening? Outlook is legit opening on my computer right now. What is happening? I might be all virused up. All right, guys. Well, looks like things are coming to an end here. You guys got any last minute questions, thoughts, requests for games? I saw we got a couple of Kimbot. Let's see here. We're doing free play and challenge videos. We'll finish in June. Cool. Selling the whole month. I'll be selling the whole month of May for my birthday. Oh, celebrating. I'm gonna say, what are you selling, bro? If it's cheesecake, give me a ring. And Kirsten, did you delete Firefighter Sim? I kept it on my console in the event to like, Boo and I might do some runs at some point, and then I thought you might at least be curious and see how I did it. And then, the runs take about 6 minutes, well, 6 to 8 minutes, depending on how good of a driver and how fast you can put out the fire. Um, so I mean, you have a pretty good idea. I have a pretty solid estimation of how many times it would take you, so you could start doing them and knocking them off. Here and there, whether they're with us or on your, you got 20 minutes to kill before dinner, fire it up, do 2 rounds, right? Put 2 little hash marks on your page, get a little post-it note, check them off. That's ultimately what I did. But then I found out that my wife had a baby shower that Saturday, and she was gonna be gone like all day. She had to go Costco in the morning to get stuff, and then she came home and had to work on her PD, and then she took off and went to the baby shower. She was gone till like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So I was literally like sitting right here on my bed, sort of like angled this way, so I could like look at the TV and do my driving over here on Firefighter Sim, but also watching the basketball playoffs over here on this TV. So I spent like 8 hours doing it. And I wasn't constantly going. I took a handful of breaks or whatever, but there's still a lot. But have you played Wolf Automatic Starter? I feel it's a tough game. Never heard of it, honestly. Wolf Automated Start. Okay, that's not even popping up. So must be reading that wrong. Wolf Automatic. Wolf Automatic. Still not even. Is that a typo? Starter? Yeah, I'm getting like, it's like a wolf box. It's like a 12-volt car battery jumper. It's called the wolf box. I'm not getting anything on that. I'll pay you to finish this. Unfortunately, my services for playing games are not up for hire. And you're not the first person that has asked me that either. I actually get asked that about once a month. In some form, like, I can't do this Lego game. Will you do it for me? Or one of the things I used to get a lot, especially in the early days when the PS3 was still ramping and raging. I never did it, but apparently there was software you could use where you could take, it was a process. I think you had to go take a USB stick, plug it into the PS3, back up your save file onto the USB drive, move it over to the computer, and then you opened it up with software or something, and then you could like change the name of the user. So like instead of Inadub, it would say like, Flight 180 or whatever, BHU 420. And then when you, so then that you would change the user, and then you could, so people were asking me all the time, like, hey, will you give me your platinum file for this? Or, hey, I see you platinum this. Will you hit me 100% save on that? No. Why? I don't understand that. Why do you want the clout when you haven't driven the route? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood that. Like, and I'm mixed emotions about auto pops too. When you play a game on like PS4 and then you can play the remastered on PS5 and then like you auto pop the platinum. Like the people who do that and then don't play the game, I just don't get it. And I even asked recently if the PS4 version of The Last of Us would auto pop the PS5 version, and the answer was yes. And I opted to not import my save and just play it. So, I think Spider-Man or Miles Morales or I don't remember which one it was. I have done an auto pop before, and it was like mind blowing. Like, oh my god, the thing bling 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 bling. I guess, but I don't recommend it. Drive Beyond Horizons. Drive Beyond Horizons. Let me see what this is all about. Whoops, wrong keyboard. It looks like gas station simulator. Rev up your engines, adventure into the unknown, and drive beyond horizons. So you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that other game I played. What the crap was it called? I was really hyped for it, and then I played it, and it was like a survival crafting game. And apparently, I got taught some stuff in like step 2 or step 3, and by the time I got to step 10, I forgot step 2 and step 3, and I didn't know how to beat it, and I was like stuck in a loop, like I couldn't escape the area that I was in before the objective failed. What was that called? It was like Pacific Drive, Pacific Drive. I think it was called Pacific Drive. Um, sorry, it's Wolf Aeromastic. Okay, I'll Google it now. See if I can get anything better. Wrong keyboard again. Wolf Aeromastic. Huh. I'm still not finding it. I'm getting like these results of like a Aurora realistic Mayoni. I think it's glitched. What your spelling capabilities? uh, is it Wolf Automata? Wolf Automation? No, Wolf. Operation Wolf. Near Automata? Is that what it is? Near Automata? I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm not trying to be a hater or make fun of you or make difficult. Like I'm really trying here. It's the PlayStation Plus games this morning, and I responded to it, and it says on the thing all playable May 6th. So I copied that and then put comma. Yet nobody will. So my comment says all playable May 6th. Yet nobody will. But I'm getting some love on that one. At least one person found it funny. Oh, so the new RoboCop game, Rogue City, is turning out to be interesting. So apparently it's available to play on Mac, and I don't think this is the new. It says an unfinished business, but it says so Rogue City is the original one, right? Rogue City is the original one, so it's available on Mac. Okay, what I'm trying to say is RoboCop: The Unfinished Business. I've seen footage where you get to play as Alex Murphy before he gets shot up. So before he runs into Red Foreman and gets the boot up the bum like Red Foreman does. If you remember, that's how the movie starts, right? Like they get called and they go to like this old abandoned plant. It's like a big warehouse facility, and there's some torture going on, and they show up and they basically kill Alex Murphy, the cop, and his partner gets to watch a lot of that, and then she escapes, and he is not in good shape. Enough of his brain is there, but his body is destroyed. And so they take the brain and the spine and they implant it into the rest of the body, and he becomes RoboCop. And you get to play as Alex Murphy pre RoboCop, so that's kind of fun. Haven't seen a lot on it, but it looks good. Yeah, so I tried, Troy. I don't know which game you're talking about, broski. I literally tried. I gave it all I got. Give it all I got, Captain. Man, we watched another episode of Black Mirror last night, and there was one called, I think it's called Metalhead. I think we're in season 4, and it was all in black and white. And it really popped. Like everything was really vibrant, and like it was cool to watch it in black and white. I was waiting for like Sin City type of stuff where like blood is red and things like that, but it didn't turn out to be that way. But it was an interesting storyline. These storylines are just crazy to me. It's future apocalyptic, and these three scavengers show up at this warehouse. There's a lot of talk as they're getting close. They're trying to find some medicine or something to. They're trying to find something to make so and so better, Joey better, or whatever. And they're sneaking around in this, like Costco is what it looks like. Literally, like big, tall towers of like massive, copious amounts of products. Looks like a Costco. Um, Sneaking around, and I even made the comment to the wife, like, "What are they sneaking for? Is there people here? Like, why? I don't understand this." Well, guy gets all the way to the top of this ladder, and he pulls this box off. And when he pulls this box off, there's this little device, and it turns out to be a robot dog, but it's like an armed patrol robot dog, and it's got all sorts of like incendiary and explosive and trackers, and the whole episode ends up being like two of the three people get taken out immediately, and the gal gets in a car and drives off, and the thing chases her, and it's like as fast, and then it ends up hijacking another car and following her in the car, and like it's smart, it's a robot, right? And it can hack, it's future, so it can hack anything, and it's an intense chase. Like it ends up losing a leg, and then she finds this tree, and it can't climb the tree, and like Black Mirror's, like I said, it's not for everybody, but there's some really good entertainment there. It's like really out of this world sci-fi kind of stuff. All right, guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up for me. What'd you guys think of the background? Good, bad? I asked that kind of earlier, but I never really saw a response. I may have just missed it. I'm scrolling back through to see. And Bobby, I'm not against trying to get to PAX West. Not against it. So yeah, I actually had a. I wonder if I have the other one. I had what was like a terrible cheesy. Let's see here. Is it still in here? Monthly backgrounds, April. Okay, so here's the other one that I had, and I was remember I told you guys I was trying to find like an Easter themed, right? Because April, Easter, whatever. This is the one that this was the best one that I found, and I hated it. I hated it. I was not wanting to do this one. Much better, right? Are we all in agreement? Much better. I mean, not the worst ever. And the logo up top would have been different and everything too. But yeah, I just found it like, I mean, April showers bring May flowers, right? Like it's rainy. I live in Oregon where it rains all the time. So it just seemed very, you know, very appropriate. So I'm glad that worked out. I'm going to go ahead and lock that, close that. One of these days I'll have to clean up all my folders. I got folders on folders on folders. But yeah, guys, it's been a fun month. Played a lot of fun games, hung out with a lot of cool people. Appreciate all of you more than you know. I'll be back, well, soon. Not tomorrow, though. Tomorrow I got off. Friday, I'm hopeful to play Apex. Nam has already checked in with me, and he's got a business thing over the weekend. He says he's not sure how available he'll be on Friday. I reached out to Boo Boo and have not heard back at all. I kind of lobbed the idea out to Gray, and he kind of, I think he's kind of in one of his, I don't want to say anti-gaming moods, but you know, like we all go through them, right? Like sometimes we just play games all the time, and then we kind of burn out on what, or the games get beat, and then you're like, now what? And then you like start binging a show, or you know, going out, or you start, your habit changes a little bit. And so there's a little bit of a fluctuation that happens, right? And I think Gray is a little bit in his not really into gaming right now. And I mentioned it to Tude earlier in the week, and Tude said, you know, I'm not going to lie, I really would love to play Apex on Friday. So I said, mark it on the calendar. And I never heard back from him. So he may be planning on being here Friday. I wouldn't count on that just because Tude's historic attendance has been, well, it's been great when he commits, but he hasn't committed. So, yes, we'll see. And you know, I don't even know if Kirsten has the game installed anymore, or when the last time she played. So yeah, we'll have to see what is up. You know, we'll see. But Adam makes a good point. High fives, dabs, hugs, all the above. Thank you so much for watching. maybe feast your eyes on this lovely shirt over at HTG merch to support the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Big time shout out to Ben again for that 20 piece, that dono that he dropped at the beginning. Much love, much love. And we had Bobby reuniting with membership, and it felt so good. Appreciate that too. And Raised out there with a flex. Justin out there with a flex too. Love it, love it. And what's weird is it actually shows Ben his gifted membership in the viewer activity of the YouTube side, but it doesn't show it on the stream side, and I don't know why. All right. Much love, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, Dragon showing up. Hey, bye. And energy. See you later, potatoes. I ain't no potato, although I'm shaped kind of like one. Wait a minute. I'm okay to say that. Are you okay to say it? I don't know if you're... All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll see you soon. Hopefully Friday. If you have not already, please check out happythumbsgaming.com. HTG merch and social media are both available to you as well. Guys, we got lots of other game breaks. Love to see you watching them, checking them out. Go back and watch one from like 10 years ago. I look so much younger. It sounds so much cooler. Getting old sucks. Anyways, guys, as for me, that's going to do it. As always, until next time.